Welcome to the Bloom Effect. I'm your host, Cassie Kellner, former chairside assistant turned team coach and founder of Everbloom. This podcast is all about the real stuff, honest combos, leadership lessons, and the heart behind thriving orthodontic teams. If you're ready to grow, lead, and bloom, let's dive in. Welcome to the Bloom Effect. I am your host, Cassie Kellner, and you guys are in for a treat. Brenda Ashwell, thank you so much for joining me. Truly, truly from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thanks for having me, Cassie. It has been such a joy watching you absolutely bloom, pun intended there, in this new adventure. And I've loved tuning in. Dixie convinced me that yes, I absolutely need new shoes. And right, I'm with Dr. McComb. If you want happy patients, you have to start with a happy team. So I am like all in on all your content as well.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Absolutely concur with all of your respective panelists or
guests.
Guests,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Brenda, wait, I love this. I can't wait for Dixie to hear that you need new shoes. This is so
Bad.
good.
I think I'm currently in flip-flops.
Oh, I'm barefoot. I was actually barefoot when Dixie and I were doing this. And she's like, I'm wearing heels right now. She was home in her home office. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm either barefoot or wearing slippers at the time. Like I was, and I love it. So anyway, thank you for supporting me in so many other ways. I can't even tell you. We met, I think it's been nearly 10 years now. Mm-hmm. And this is really interesting too. I don't know if you know this, Brenda. Maybe I don't even know if I've told you this, but I used Patient Rewards Hub as a team member.
Okay.
And then years and years ago when I was still working in a practice, and then I met you from like on the business side, and I adore you and Cody and what you do. And so much of what we do and what we talk about and what we believe in is so aligned. And so we today are going to nerd out on all things team culture, and I cannot wait. And so I always start this with, who is Brenda? Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had basically an existential crisis as I thought about my answer to this question. And I'm sure all of your guests have, right?
Totally.
It's crazy. So I really boiled it down, and I've got it truncated into, I am a fun-loving, work hard, play hard gal. That is honestly a total brand experience and technology nerd. I love it. I've spent 30 years in the ortho world, and while I love the space, what I really love is I love turning big ideas into real growth. And I'm super excited about AI-enabled tech and where that meets play inside the practice, and how these little brand moments that we create, how they really drive growth, with the business. So after years of building Patient Rewards Hub and Hubbucks teams, and now at their parent company, Culturello, I've really seen how this connected brand experience really shapes everything, and that this sustainable growth absolutely comes from these culture-driven experiences. And when I'm not nerding out on all those things, you're going to find me chasing some kind of outdoor adventure on a bike, on a snowboard, on a supboard, in the mountains, at the beach. If I can be outside playing, if I'm not working, it's one of those two. So that's it. That's my existential crisis in a little nutshell, a little package. There you go.
It's interesting whenever I ask, so people know that I'm going to ask that question before I ask, right? I have to. Can you imagine if I just threw that at you and just, yeah, exactly. People are like, oh gosh, but it's so much fun for me because one, I've learned so much about people that I have known for years, the things that they say in those. One, you and I can relate on being an ortho. It's 20 years for me, 30 for you. We also can relate on living in San Diego. Yes. You don't live there anymore. I don't either, but having that experience, we can relate on starting in a practice and then going,
wait a minute, I think I'm going to shift here. And also we can relate on working with world-renowned orthodontists. And like that experience, you know, there's not many people in my experience in the industry that have gained an experience like that where they didn't even really know. Like I didn't know, I don't think you knew what you were walking into when you started with this orthodontist, and then you're like, whoa. And I feel that was like a wild foundation for me. Like that was a really solid foundation to go, this is actually incredible. And then I just like dialed in and paid attention. And you know, some people have this and some people don't. This entrepreneurial spirit of like, oh, I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to go like this and this, and then I'm going to take this hurdle, and then, oh, okay, there's more. And I'm like, there's this like fire drive in me that's probably really debilitating. Like my husband's like, yeah, right. He works in medicine. He feels good about that. And I'm like, I think I'm going to launch blah, blah, blah. I think I'm going to do. And he's like, okay. You know, I think that, so like, I feel like we can relate on so many levels. You're 10 years ahead of me and I'm just like watching you and going, okay, all right, we got this. Like I can do, look at Brenda, like I love it. Truly Brenda.
Oh, that's so, you know, that's so sweet. Thank you. I have the added advantage though, Cassie, is I have a soul partner and a business partner along the side, you know, alongside of me. So everything that we've built with Patient Rewards Hub and Hubbucks teams and now Culturello, it really has been from our shared experiences. And to your point, I feel like one of the things that's, I think, unique about my experience in orthodontics is, you know, I started in college and I started with a wonderful practice in Vegas with Cree Hamilton. And he brought in the OG ortho consultants. And so I foundationally learned the business at just a fundamentally best practice right out of the gates, right? So right out of the gates, I was just gleaning this experience from these mostly women who were really showing what was possible and really took hold of that space. And I learned so much, and I did so many things to build referral networks for this practice, and this practice grew just wonderfully well. And he's just such a wonderful practitioner and human. And I was able to see how grassroots connections with people and how top of funnel, how we started that, how you do it from real relationship building, you know, these events, you did it because you wanted to give something back to your community that served you. And I mean, I did contests with patients using literal clip art and, you know, would go into practices or go into schools with, you know, a little puppet and would show how to brush teeth. And everything, though, was analog. Every experience that I had those early foundational years was analog. And then to your point, I got my exposure to, and that was kind of with Hamilton, it was kind of all things front of house. And then I came with Ron Ronconi, and he really, like you said, kind of opened my experience to where the clinical side of the practice really changes the way that patient experience can be had, and it changes staffing, and he showed me that on a global level. He has practices that would come from all over the world, and so I got to speak with doctors who are in Germany and kind of learn what their experiences are. And what's crazy is all of these moments and all of these experiences kind of shaped where we were able to see problems, where we're able to see hurdles, and really kind of at the same time look to see how can we use how can we have this brand engagement now in a digital way? And so I think all of those experiences, you know, to your point, have really kind of led to where I am, you know, right now with this front row seat to see what practices are up against, what they're juggling. And, you know, these really kind of have inspired a lot of what we bring in Culturello.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about this a bit and like be prepared, people, because we're about to like nerd out on serious culture building and experience in general, right?
Yeah.
So you've described like this journey, right, that you've had from like day one to all of these different things that and platforms, and from referrals to reward to relationships. And I feel like we need to say that again. Referrals to rewards to relationships, because like that's the funnel, right? I mean, there's so much more that goes into it, but like those three things in a practice. So can you just walk me through the evolution on how it shaped the way that you think about patient and team experiences? Like, how did this evolve? Like, where did this come from? How did this evolve? Like, tell me about this journey.
Yeah, so I think, you know, all these things were being done, you know, in a very analog way. We were doing these contests. We were going out and trying to get referrals, and, you know, we were using referral slips, and in 2025, although things are still tangible, and yes, we still use paper, there is a better way to experience these things in a digital way. There's the ability to have attribution, to be able to see, oh, I can't see when somebody physically hands a referral slip, but maybe that person is a really great referral. We just do it. Can I cuss on this? Can I say shitty?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We just do a really shitty job, maybe, like converting them, right? It's not the person's fault who brought them in, but with paper, we don't know. And so being able to kind of look at all of these systems that we've done analog in such a really well way, and then just take that and say, okay, what's the last thing in a practice that has a system around it? And it's brand, it's marketing, everything. You have a clinical system
always
buttoned up from start to finish. You know exactly what wire you're putting in next. You know exactly what's happening on your schedule, doctor time scheduling. You've got that on lock, right?
Yeah.
But marketing and brand experience, which is the way we're making people feel when they're in our practice, or hopefully taking that experience outside of our practice. Well, there wasn't really a system for it. And so if you don't have a system, you're not consistent. If you're not consistent, it's onesie twosies. It's some people have this great thing, some people don't. And so I've really liked the evolution of seeing all of this in a way that is kind of buttoned up. And then, okay, that's great for patients. Now what, can we do this for employees? Is this journey the same for employees? Of course it is. You know, how can we make them feel more connected to our brand and tell our story? And then certainly partners and people that refer in our community like that. So that's kind of that evolution.
Yeah. And, you know, I think too, I've said this in so many lectures, Brenda, people are probably tired of hearing me say this. Let's get real. We focused for years and years and years, like early 2000s, on like patient experience. That's all anybody was talking about. Like, it's about your patient experience. It's your patient experience, you know? And then all of a sudden it was like, your turnover is like 99%, guys. Like, what is going on here? And so finally, it's taken a really long time.
I couldn't agree. The pendulum is finally coming back.
Finally, we're like, okay, wait a minute. What about this like theory, everyone, that if you hone in on your team and you make them feel loved and appreciated and a part of something, and you give them clarity and you cushion them with pillows, and you make sure that they feel like they're in a safe work environment, let's just
Mm-hmm.
start there,
Mm-hmm.
that then they will take care of your patient experience.
Yeah.
And it
It's
was
not
like,
the other way around. It can't
no,
be. It
no.
can't be the other way around.
No. And so that is why I love what you do so much. I actually remember the turn of Patient Rewards Hub. This was like forever ago, just so you know, of like giving, obviously I'm a clinical nerd, so I'm swiping, I'm giving my patients points. And then I remember the shift too of being able to give points to my team members.
Yeah.
And for them to like get gift cards and get purses and get the things that they want to in that simple evolution. But your company, your ideas, that was a massive shift in the industry because we were so focused on patient, and all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
we can also swipe this and give love to our team because they deserve it.
Yeah, we saw that so much, Cassie. We saw that so much with, our best customers were using the system in a way, they were kind of hacking the system, if you will, right? They were saying, hey, we recognize that gamifying things and giving a goal and having a treat after you've reached that goal, playing, engaging, these work. So could this also work for my team? And then it's like, yeah, but why don't we just ground up this? And this is really where the having a CEO that comes from big business that really understands not just the ortho world, but lots of other, just really kind of understands technology at its core. And he went, no, we can't hack this. We've got to build this from the ground up for that user, because when you're in the system, we want the system to be able to give things specific to an employee or specific to a partner. And so we really did kind of ground up, rebuild those for those member types. And then AI, that's changed the game. It's absolutely changed.
Let's talk about this. Like, let's be real. Let me back up really quick. I'm an elder millennial. I'm going to be 41 soon. AI like punched me in the face, I would say personally, in the last 24 months. Yeah. Like truly, where I really went like, wait a minute. And because I am who I am, I go down these like rabbit holes of like, wait a minute. And right. And so I use AI obviously from a different perspective, but it's such a powerful tool that like, talk to me about the AI piece that you guys are like, and how you're seeing that shift and the technology of it.
Yeah. I think the biggest opportunity with AI right now is taking work off of our plates. So many, right? Think about all the teams that you talk to. Ortho teams are buried. We're buried in repetitive tasks. We're buried in schedules and follow-up and reminders and tracking. And what that does is that pulls us away from the connective layer of, I've got a patient in front of us. I've got a patient in front of me. So AI can help kind of augment those things running in the background. And for me personally, I think I use an AI tool anytime I'm on with a new client. And I used to use,
Same.
Right. So I used to just jot everything down, and I was concerned about everything down. And I need the information because I need to be able to action off that information. But what AI has done, and the analogy I'm making is how I think this will help practices, is AI makes it so I don't have to sit and jot this down. It's taking that information so I can be here. And I'm not having to, AI's doing that in the background. And I think that is kind of where out of the gates, AI is going to take that task layer and kind of even out the playing field. So then what's going to happen is brands have to lean into this experience, this piece. If you don't have this piece, then you just flattened out the playing field, right? So we've been using AI for years, learning from data, predicting behavior, and, you know, kind of using that data to help trigger the right action across the right, you know, at the right time. But if you want to use AI to help make your brand experience better, you have to use it in a space that helps stay consistent with that brand moment, that really helps you focus on that human touch, because that human part is going to be, you know, more important than ever. And so I also see, you know, these practices, if you're not leaning into this brand experience, then everything gets equaled out. You're not talked about. When they go to chat to say who's the coolest or who's the best orthodontist near me, they're looking for authentic experiences. And if you're not part of that equation, because AI has flattened everything out and you don't have this experience that's share-worthy, that's talkable, that people have a way of easily being able to refer, you know, then you're going to be left to whatever AI decides.
Yeah, isn't that why I'm like processing all of this as you're saying this, Brenda, on so many different levels. Like just the authenticity part, one, that's huge. And also I feel like if you don't understand AI and actually do your due diligence and understand it, you will also appear inauthentic, because it's just going to spit out random jargon that's like not your voice, your brand, who you are.
I couldn't agree more. It's like everybody starts using an M dash. It's like nobody knew what an M dash was before chat came out. Right,
Brenda? Okay, I need the listeners to hear this. This goes out to everyone. I don't care what you're doing or who you are.
Yeah.
But if you are using AI on your socials, your website, your anything that you're doing, remove the M dash. Yeah. Everyone, you hear this? Because that is like the sign that this is not authentically you. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that if you use AI, you're not being your authentic self. You're just getting like this magical wand that's like, whoa, I sound really good. You know, like it's just a magical button that goes like, whoa, that looks so much better than what my 3 sentences looked like. You know, I just saw something on Instagram, because I do Instagram, not TikTok. I wish I did TikTok, but let's get real. I have 2 young kids and there's no way I couldn't be a mom and have TikTok at the same time, because I know myself. I know myself.
The rabbit hole of scrolling would be insane.
It would be too bad. and it's not, and to shout out to all those that have it and that can regulate it. It's just not how my brain works. So I saw something that these girls were talking on a podcast, and they were like, the M dash gives us the ick. And I could not stop laughing, because like, it's like the sign of using AI, you know? So, and I've seen so many times, because people are just starting to use it and they're learning, but they're putting, like, they're copying and pasting whatever they're going to post. Yeah. And then they forget at the very bottom, it says, does this work for you? Would you like me to create?
Oh, cringe.
And they're leaving it. And I'm like, oh gosh, guys, like, you know, AI is magic, but you also have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like,
you do.
You know, you do.
So true.
It has to be you. It has to be, you have to basically, Lindsay Quinn is nerding out right now. Lindsay Quinn, let me tell you, has a whole AI component to her consulting. I mean, it's bananas. She speaks, and Brenda, I don't even know what she's talking about. Like, I'm like, you're actually speaking another language to me, but she's like 15 steps ahead. And that's the thing though. Like, you actually have to teach your AI.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To be you, to sound like you, to right? I mean, people just get on Chat GPT and they're like, oh, I just saw this. I heard this, read this. I don't know where I saw it, but it was like somebody was creating job descriptions for their practice for using AI, but none of it was aligned with their actual practice. They were like, I just need a job description. It's like, okay, well, that's great, but you also have to feed AI what you actually need back. So
yeah, because it's only as good as the data it gets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's that, I mean, there's so many things, and I'm not even smart enough from the AI perspective to even be discussing this. I actually feel it like an imposter now.
No,
because
you don't. You're using it to help all those things, right? Like you're using it to help create easier tasks, or you're using it to
very
help with the editing part. But you're right.
Yes.
The authenticity, the experience is not something at this point that should be outsourced.
But also, don't you feel, Brenda, that and you've said this in so many ways, that if people don't jump on this, they're going to get left behind.
No, it's a first mover advantage, absolutely. Who genuinely lean in on it to help with brand authenticity and use it to build genuine culture and experiences early, right? Like it's crazy because people are going to go to chat. The last couple of new clients I've gotten, they said, I went to chat, I put in the things, my requirements, and your company came up.
Wow.
Right? It's happening. And it's happening to practices, whether they know it or they don't know it. So what's going to be left is that experience that people have with your brand. So if you're not consistent with it, and that really is, how are you going to be consistent with that experience that you deliver every single time to every single patient, to every single employee? And that really is where, man, I got to have a system. I've really got to have a system to be able to enable these nudges and these moments of delight across all of these journeys that as a brand I'm managing.
Yeah. It's interesting because people talk brand. Became like a hype word in I would say in the last 10 years. It was like everyone was focused on marketing. Everyone has a slogan. They went hard on brand, and I think they thought that brand initially was like my logo.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like the colors that I choose. And you and your company and Cody and what you guys have done and the evolution that how you've evolved into these multiple different things have proved that your brand, my friends, is not just your beautiful logo.
It's interaction. It's how people feel about you every time they interact with you, and how they feel with you, not just in the four walls of the orthodontic practice.
Yes.
It's got to, I always use this motion. It's got to extend. You got to pull that experience where they are and be where they are and meet them where they are and have that consistent delivery.
100%.
So yeah, it is about that. I read
somewhere, again, I'm going back to Instagram. People are going to think I'm obsessed, which I am. Let's get real. And I find like really funny things on there.
Oh yeah.
And because I have like the Everbloom Instagram and then I have my personal Instagram, I just get like all the things, in life, because there's two different algorithms.
Yes.
Let's get real. And, but I read like, and I love this, and I've shared it so many times. It's like your brand and your culture, or how your team members feel on a Sunday night. Like how they feel about going in on Monday morning and feeling about like, okay, like you're allowed to have bad days. Let's get real. And you're allowed to be like, oh, I don't want to work this week.
Sure.
But it shouldn't be fear and anxiety and tears and stress.
So true.
And
yeah, so true.
People are their brand. Their team is their brand. And it's people, in my opinion, and you can speak to this, Brenda, because you are the marketing and brand guru. I am not. I am just an onlooker when it comes to marketing. I love the creativity side of it.
So
like
fun.
I'm a Canva nerd, but like I don't claim to be good at this stuff, but I love it.
Look at the background that you have created in this. Yeah, you're pretty good at it, Cassie. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I love it so much. I think it's the artsy side. I don't think it's the actual marketing stuff. I just love the design, right?
Sure.
But I think what's so interesting is that people will have like these fun TikToks and their website will be beautiful. And then you get into the practice and you can feel the energy like of like, oh my gosh, this is not aligned with like everything that I saw.
Yeah.
You know?
I completely agree with that. And it is interesting to see. One of the best compliments I think I've ever received, well, I should say one of the best compliments I've received recently, is we were at the AAO, and we were at the AAO this year as Culturello, and we have traditionally been Patient Rewards Hub and Hubbucks teams.
Yes.
And if you've ever visited our booth at the AAO, it's
It's
not
a party.
like any other booth. It's
Let's
a party.
get real. It's a party.
We want to have fun, and we have bright
the
colors,
best.
and we have balloons, and we sell fun. We have to be fun, right? So this year we wore sequin. The gals wore
I remember.
sequin jackets, and so there was a bunch of us riding up the escalator, and I had somebody come to our booth, and they said, I couldn't find you in the hall, but we saw a bunch of girls or gals going up the escalators in bright colored sequin jackets, and we went, follow them. That's where they're at. And I was like, yes, that's the brand we have created. Different, fun, unique. And like I said, it was just such a compliment to the brand that we've created. But that shit doesn't happen by accident either, Cassie.
No.
You have to plan it, right? It's like you have to know what you're building. Otherwise, whatever you build is whatever it is, right? It's like the saying, all roads take you somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to have a system because you have to build that experience. And I think a lot of practices, or a lot of businesses in general, they've got, I need this on Instagram. And to your point, then you come into practice and they haven't detailed that all out. So it is bifurcated. It is, segmented to, this is how I feel here, but not here. And that's just not authentic, because you have to take the time to really, really build it out. And that team, they are the ones that are executing on that. And the patients feel it, but the team executes that culture and that brand for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
okay.
Sure.
Let's like switch gears to practice leadership.
Sure.
Because this is like, what piece of advice would you give to practice leaders who want to align their culture, the technology piece? We've talked a lot about AI, the patient experience for long-term growth. Like,
sure.
What would that be? What would that look like to them?
I have to say we built it, right? So so we built that.
Yes.
And I think that really is the impetus of Culturello and combining all of these journeys together in a platform. But if you really had to break it down, aside from using our product, the first is deliver consistent experiences. Look at that patient journey. It's predictable. Make it delightful and easy from first call to retainer pickup. You have to look at it, like I said, you've got to design it so that this experience is consistent. So I'd say that that's one piece of advice. The second is wholeheartedly invest in your team and their experience. Recognize and celebrate wins, big or small. Give your team tools and time to focus on patients, not just tasks. Let AI do that. Give them time and tools, right? Because like I said, you and I are both up against this all the time. I can't give my team one more thing. And it's like, you're right. You can't. How are they going to deliver this wonderful experience if all they're doing is task all day long? So build your culture on purpose. And again, this doesn't happen. You've got to build it. And then take these moments and help create stories around how people share their experience. Help them with the words that they use. AI won't make people talk about you. Experience will.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think the last is kind of something new, which is own your data and your relationships. We outsource a lot of things, but really build that direct relationship with your partners, with your patients, with your employees. Centralized communication. Again, that's why we built the platform, to really control that brand experience, so we can control where your brand shows up for AI to collect it. So if you're not controlling it, somebody else is going to. So own your data, create these stories, be consistent with that patient experience, and invest in your team with time and tools, not just tasks.
Yeah. I think the investing in your team part is Culturello. Like it is all of the things, they're investing in their practice, and you're right, Brenda. It's the number one thing in consulting. It's been a million years for me now, and I've shifted my consulting model. And so I'm very remote now. I used to go in, and so we'd have to close down and do all the things because I was so clinically focused. And they're like, I love this.
Yeah,
However,
they do.
People are scared of their teams because their teams are like, no. I'm seeing patients from here to here. I don't have any more time. I can't do this. I'm stressed about this. And I find that people are not rolling out new things appropriately, exactly as you said, from beginning to end. There is no why. They're like, hey, I saw this really cool, bright, shiny thing at the AAO, and I'm going to dump this on my team because I thought it was cool. And also, like, my friend from residency also uses it, and he says it's great.
Yeah.
And we've not rolled this out. That's also team experience.
Yeah.
Like, and so,
and then what's in it for me? My name's not on the door. I'm here from 9 to 5. And yes, I really like my colleagues I work with, right? We stay for the employees. We stay for our friends. So in reality, I think what's in it for me? Well, I feel valued. I feel connected. I feel appreciated. And I think it's really interesting. I did a webinar, I think maybe the beginning of last year, and the title of it was for our clients. It was called Make Work Play. And it was all about, how play helps the elasticity or the neuroplasticity in our brain. And it helps us be more susceptible to new ideas and to, make ourselves feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. And so in doing this, I was reminded, as I was kind of prepping for this call, I was reminded of the fact that in a Gallup poll, 67% of managers feel like they give enough praise and recognition, but only 23% of employees agree. So we as managers think we're doing better than we really are, right? Just because somebody shows up, they have to, they can't work remote, right? Just because they show up and they're in their correct scrub doesn't mean that they're feeling this connection, doesn't mean that they're feeling appreciated. And that feeling of appreciation is the number one reason why people leave, is because they don't feel appreciated, especially when you're stretched thin. I don't have the tools, I don't have the time, and you don't appreciate me, and my name's not on the door. Come on. I know. Right?
It's over.
Yeah. But it's easy. It's easy to reverse it. And I think that's that,
I agree.
It's super easy to go, okay, hold up. Where are we at? Let's get a pulse on where we are, a real pulse. Okay. Now, let's, as a group, figure out what things need to be changed so that I have some autonomy, so that the group has some autonomy in what this looks like. Help them with mastery, right? Like, you're so all about that. Let's help you be good at your job. Because if you're really good at your job, you like to show up. And then how can we celebrate and have these fun moments and recognize big wins and small, from employees to management down. And so I think all of those things, yes, our system helps with all of those. But even if you don't use our system, you can absolutely
Let's just
create
stop for a second.
these. You can create this on your own, but it has to be, it really does have to be something that it's not just happenstance. When you walk into Chick-fil-A, the reason why they say, what they say isn't because...
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's not because the 17-year-old that's, slinging fries in the back thought that up, right? It's because somebody said, this is the brand, this is the culture, this is what we as a connective group of people that work together, this is what we stand for, and this is what our culture and our brand is. And I think from employee to patients to those, partners that refer to you, having that connected experience with your brand and your culture, I think that's really where it's at.
I agree. I've been preaching this for far too long, and I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm on a soapbox, and I'm like, listen, Linda, okay? Listen, Linda, listen to me. I'm like, and I'm going to go all the way to the very beginning, Brenda. I'm going to go all the way to the beginning. Training and onboarding from day one of who we are, what we stand for, what is our brand, what is our culture, how do you like to be supported? We're asking them questions. They're allowed to ask us questions. We are creating mentorship and buddy programs. We are, listen, I love Asana, and Asana is not mine, but we get you in Asana and give you a very clear way of understanding what you're responsible for. Like, it's all connected back to brand and culture.
Yeah. It's the engine. It is the engine that drives retention, referrals, and long-term success. It is the engine.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Because you hire for character, you train for skill.
Sure.
So you hire for character, you take this wonderful, beautiful character, and then you get to immerse them in your brand. If you hire for character for this wonderful human who's like, I don't know what I'm doing here because I've never been in orthodontics before, and you don't train them and you don't give them your why and you don't give them systems, then all of it falls flat and it goes directly back to culture and brand. I'm so passionate about this. It's embarrassing, but people wonder why right now in 2025 and for the past 5 years since the global pandemic, they've seen this massive turnover. It's like, well, I don't know. How about because you have 17,000 people in your hometown and everyone's speaking because the dental assistant or dental community is very small and they're saying, hey, don't work for this person.
And don't go there. Right. And don't refer there.
Travels.
Yeah.
No. And so it goes all the way back to brand and culture and experience. And listen, it's one big bubble. And I hope that the stars are starting to finally align for people, because I have seen a shift, and I'm really happy to hear you say you've seen a shift too. And, you guys have paved the way for patient experience and now team experience. And I have to say this too. I love the gamify experience because it's like, it brings out people's inner child, which we don't do very well as adults.
And what things do you remember? You remember things that are real crappy and really fun, right?
Yes.
And fun is easy. Fun is like memorable, right? What's better than starting the day with a fun icebreaker, or something silly, or a little game, or playing with a patient. They're going to remember that the team member that played with them, not the one that was so excited because they were 2 seconds to the dot when they had to see that patient. I'm not saying fall behind, because that's patient experience as well.
Yeah,
but
of course.
How about, hey, Johnny, and ask him, which would you rather? Or how about let's play with patients? And the gamified aspect of it is just It's a method to get the outcome we want. It's just a method. And it's a fun one. Games
yeah,
are
totally.
fun.
Yes. And I'm just going to kind of leave it because we've talked about analog and digital and AI. And so a lot of people are still like, put the cotton balls in and guess how many cotton balls at Christmas. And, you know, it's like, and I still think that is a really, really, like, I have a 5 and a 6-year-old.
Sure.
They would love that.
Absolutely.
However, these kids, like Gen Alpha right now, is growing up with an iPad and with Quick and with games and so like this, it speaks to them.
Yeah, it does. And I do think to your point, Cassie, having both, because when I'm in the practice, I can do that. I can play it. Yep. And look, the reason why we started this 30 years ago, the reason why we did contests is because our wait was long. We wanted a different experience so that they knew an orthodontist was different than a dentist.
Yes.
Right? Like we wanted to create something fun. Why? Because an orthodontist costs money and a dentist, you go through your insurance. So we have fun here, Mom. It's different, right? So that really is, like I said, the OG, back to the foundation of all of this. So those things are still fun and they're important, and in the moment they're great. What do you do outside in a digital way for your patients to stay connected with you? Yep. And on what? Well, this is where they are. So let's get ourselves in a way that we're engaging both digitally and physically with them around our brand, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Brenda, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Much fun. It's truly, I could nerd out with you on so much more.
We could.
And even outside of culture and brand, just like our stories and our lives and connecting. And
your listeners are like, zip it, guys. I got stuff to do. I got TikTok to get to.
Yeah, exactly. I can't thank you enough. Truly, you are the absolute best. I can't wait to see you in person.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brenda.
And like I said, Cassie, it has been my pleasure to watch you bloom, and it's just been fun to be a cheerleader on the side. And, you know, it's hard to do new things, and you're doing it well. Kudos to you, girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me on The Bloom Effect, where we keep it real, keep it growing, and always keep it team first. If today's episode sparked something for you, an idea, a shift, or just a reminder that you're not alone, take a second and share it with your team or a fellow ortho leader. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a convo, and if you're loving the show, leave a review. It helps more practices find us and join the movement. And if you're ready to bring this kind of energy into your practice, visit discovereverbloom.com to learn more about working together. Until next time, keep leading with heart, keep building with intention, and keep blooming right where you're planted.